Hey, David here. Just here today. Felt like making a continued video about openings. Last video, I showed you how to figure out how to decide what openings to start learning, and I taught you one method. Well, I figured we should do that method for a while just for some practice and to help get you guys going. You can basically the openings I get out of this, you can get as well. You can just copy it yourself or rewatch the video. Um, so I'm just going to reiterate what we were doing. Basically, there's so many openings out there. It's hard. Like you should know all of them, really. But how do you get started? How do you choose which ones to learn first? Well, I think you should start with the openings that occur in your games. So the one of the fastest methods I've found is to you got to go to chess.com, create an account, and then basically on the home page you can play games. I recommend you go to play bots. And if you've never seen this before, I'll just show you. When chess.com has a ton of bots. There's beginner level, intermediate, advanced, master level, then a bunch of different famous people, and then top players, and then personalities, people you might have heard of before. Um, so what you can do is play games against these bots. Now, there's some cool features. What you can do if you look down here over the play button, there's this little arrow, and when you click on it, it gives you an option. You can either play games against the bots without any help. You can play games against the bots with you're allowed to have hints and you're allowed to take back moves, or you're allowed to play with assisted mode, where you get all the tools. You get this thing that tells you who's winning. So if all of a sudden your opponent makes a mistake, if black makes a mistake, the white bar will shoot up, and then you'll know, okay, I got to look for a winning move. But also with the assisted mode, it gives you a bunch of moves that are from the engine. So you can play the best moves. And I find it helpful to help figure out what openings to learn. So I'm doing assisted mode, and this is what you should do. So I'm going to start with, it doesn't really matter. You want to do this against basically you're trying to get different openings. So you can play against the same bot over and over, and as long as they're producing different moves, then this will work. Otherwise, just switch from bot to bot. I'm going to start with beginner, and I'm going to start with Martin, and I'm going to push play. And on the side here, I have Notepad open. This is where I'm going to take notes. You can use a real notebook if you want, or you can use WordPad or Microsoft 360 or whatever. But you want to take notes. So I started a game, and again, with the assisted mode, it tells me over here on the side what are the top 5 moves. So I'm going to start with exploring e4. So I'm going to play e4. And my opponent plays e5. And just to show, the bar didn't really move up or down. It says it's plus 0.23 advantage for white. So that means black made a good move. So I'm going to look to see what the computer recommends. Now, one thing you should know is basically any move that's under 0.50 or even as great as 1 point is good. Or excuse me, if white's playing anything that's above -1 is good to play. Now the ones that are higher, like that, the best move is 0.26 knight f3. That's the best move you can play right now. So for right now, I'm just gonna play the best moves. So I'm gonna play knight f3. and then I'm going to constantly check to see if my opponent's moves are blunders or good moves. And again, the evaluation didn't really change, so I know this is a good move. So I'm going to see, okay, what move should I play? It says bishop b5, so I'm going to stick with the best move. Sometimes I'm going to choose a different move besides the best move, but for right now, I'm going to choose the best move. So it now tells me over here that this is the Ruy Lopez, and it's even the Berlin defense. So I think this is far enough in the opening where, like, this is what I want to learn. So I'm going to go to my notes. I'm going to type in Ruy Lopez. And then I'm going to type in the moves. It was 1, e4, e5, 2, knight f3, knight c6, 3, bishop b5, knight f6. Now, I actually know that the Ruy Lopez is bishop b5 even without knight f6. So I'm going to keep it at this. I'm not going to put the knight f6 in. But if you did knight f6, you could choose to do knight f6, but instead it even tells you here Ruy Lopez Berlin defense. So you could just do the same thing. Ruy Lopez Berlin defense. And there you go. You got your first opening that you can learn. And once you do this for a while, you might want to learn more further into the line than this. But for at first, this is far enough. So I'm actually going to resign the game. You could play out the entire game for practice, but I did that last video. So this video, I strictly want to do this to get the opening information. All right, so I'm going to resign. And it's an unrated game, so it won't affect your rating. So it's safe to resign. It's no big deal. And I'm going to play Martin again. And I'm going to stay with the white colors because I'm going to try to keep doing e4. I want to get openings with e4. So I'm going to play e4 again. And hopefully it does something different. Okay, it does the same move. I'm going to do the same move. And it does a different move. All right, so it tells me here this is called the Philidor defense. So I'm going to go and type in Philidor defense. And then I'm going to type in the moves. 1, e4, e5, 2, knight f3, d6. And again, this is far enough. You don't really have to go any further than this. But, I mean, you can do the next move just so you can be like, well, I want to know what to play against d6. And it says the best move is d4. So you can put d4. And then put it in 3, d4. And that's it. Resign the game. Yes. And I'm going to try Martin again one more time. I'm going to have faith that he's going to choose a different opening. I'm going to do e4. And he does. This is called the Scandinavian defense. So I'm going to write that in. And this is where, again, you can choose to decide that these two moves are far enough. I mean, you're still learning something by just learning these first two moves. You learn this is the Scandinavian defense. Excuse me. But I think I'm going to do a couple more moves just because. It says taking is the only good move. Let's see if that was a good move. Yep, that was a good move. It says knight c3 is the best move. Let's see if that was a good move. That wasn't a good move. So I'm going to do one more move because I want to know what move to do that's the best against this move since it wasn't a good move. It says bishop e2. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 e takes d5, queen takes d5, 3 knight c3, and then queen e5 check. Whoops. Queen e5 check was a questionable move. So I'm going to put a question mark. Like it wasn't that good of a, because a question mark means it was a mistake. And it was. And then I'm going to put the move to respond to that, which was bishop to e2. And then that's that. You don't want to record too many moves because that's just going to be too much to remember at first. You just want to learn. You want to learn a little bit of everything at first. I think that some people will say you should stick to a couple openings and that's it, or 4 or 5 openings and that's it. And maybe that's true, but I also think there's something about knowing a little bit about everything because that gives you more options when you play games. You can play a game a certain way against an opponent, and if you end up playing that opponent again, if they did well, then you might. If they did well against what you played, then you might want to try something else. So it just gives you more options, and I think in the long run, having more options is better. All right. So I'm gonna do new game. I'm gonna resign, and I'm gonna try Martin again. So far, it's been 3-0, where I've gotten 3 different openings. And again, I want to stick with e4. I want these notes to be about 1 e4. Now let's see if he plays something different. And if he plays the same thing, I'll just put it under the same opening that I have here. It's freezing up, so let me just restart it. New game, Martin. Sometimes that happens. It's not perfect. All right, great. It did a new opening. So this is called the Alekhine defense. So I'm going to type that in. Not the fastest typer. And again, maybe just doing the first 2 moves is enough. Maybe you want to make flashcards or something, just so you can quiz yourself on the openings. But I'm going to do 3 or 4 more moves just because. So it says e5 is the best move. And looks like that was a good move. I'm not sure. It looks like that was a good move. So it says the best move. It says the best move is c4. I do also know d4 is played a lot. Now it says d4, so I'm going to play d4. And apparently, knight to c6 was a big mistake. And this is the best move is C. So I'm going to write that in before I move on, just so I remember which move was the mistake. So 2 see, e5, knight d5, then 3, d4, then knight c6, and I'm going to make it a double question mark, a big blunder. Maybe it's just a one question mark. I'm not really sure. It gave me over a 2-point advantage, so I think that qualifies as a double question mark. And it says the best move is c4. So I'm going to type in c4. And that's it. Now, you could go further. If you've already done this before and you already have a list of moves like this, then maybe you've already memorized this much, or you've learned the openings this far and you want to go further, then do more moves. But again, for this list, I'm going to keep it at around 3 or 4 moves. So, I'm going to resign. Rematch. Let's see if I can get another opening out of Martin. Get another e5. I'm just taking a look to see what the other options are, but I think I'm going to stick with knight f3. And we get another one. We get a Petrov. So I'm going to type in Petrov's defense. And then type in 1, e4, e5, 2, knight f3, knight f6. And it says the best move is for knight to take. And let's see if that was a good move. It was an okay move. It gave me a little bit of an advantage. So I'm going to type that in. 3, knight takes e5, knight takes e4. And it says queen e2 is the best move. And it says that was a mistake. Okay, because the knight's just hanging. So it's kind of a real obvious mistake, so it's up to you whether you want to include it. But I'm going to, just to stay consistent. So fourth move is queen e2, and then c6 is a big blunder. So double question mark. And then I'll do move 5 is queen takes e4. Takes e4. And you're just up a knight. So I'm going to resign. Let's try Martin again. We've gotten 5 openings out of him so far. Let's see if we can get a 6. And we got another one. We got a French defense. So I'm going to type in French defense. And type in 1 e4, e6. Says the best move is d4. And it already says that's a mistake. So, alright, so let's type it in to d4, queen, f6. I'll just put that as a 1 question mark, because it's still under 2 points. So I think 2 points are over, it's a double question mark. And one if it's under 2 points, it's only 1 question mark. But that's just me. So let's see what the best move is. It says knight c3. Let's see. So c5 was another mistake. So I'm going to include it. So c5 question mark. And then 4 says knight f3 is the best move. It's either knight f3 or d5. Or knight b5. There's a few moves. So you might come up with your own way to take notes, but I mean you might want to start this opening and then have a response with all 4 of these moves. Or maybe that's a waste of time. I'm going to stick with the best move it says, which right now is saying e5. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that for that opening. Let's give Martin another try. I was gonna do about 10 of these. I think that's a good number. Let's try 1e4 again. I'll be surprised if we get a new opening again. And we do. We get a new opening. The Owens defense. I didn't think we'd be looking at the Owens defense for a long time. Wow. Owens defense. One e4 b6. Says the best move is d4. That looks like a mistake. And so, let's see, so 2 d4, and then black plays bishop a6, and I'm going to give that a question mark. And then I'm going to do the response. 3, bishop takes a6. That way I know what move to do to punish that mistake. Bishop takes a6. And I'm just that's gonna be it, because there was a mistake already, and then I got the move to respond to that mistake. So that's good enough. Let's resign, let's try again. It's like we're fishing for openings. Let's try e4 again, see if our luck holds out. Looks like it froze, so let's restart. See, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try to get 3 more. Got a French defense again. Let's see if it's something different. See, we'll go to see. I look at our French defense. We got e4, e6, d4, and we got a different move. Thank goodness. So we'll put this under our French defense again. So 1, e4, e6, to d4, and we got bishop b4 check, and that gets a question mark because that gives us a point advantage. So question mark, and it looks like the move is c3. And let's just see if that was a mistake. Says it was, and we should do queen g4. Okay, attacking this pawn. So yeah, let's put that in. So let's see, bishop a5, and I'm going to give that another question mark. And then for queen g4. I'll just put it on there to show it, in case you're just watching the video and rewatching the video. And that was a big mistake, but we're far enough into the opening where we don't need any more. So again, when I resign, it's not affecting my rating at all because it's against bots. So let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try to get 2 more. And we got a modern defense. So it's another new one. Modern defense. 1, e4, g6. Says the best move is d4. And it played a good move, bishop g7, so type that in, d4, bishop g7. The best move is actually tied. Actually, no, it's not. It says knight c3. So I'll put knight c3. And that move was a mistake, so let's see. Put h6 question mark, and then I'll put the response. It says knight f3 is the best move. So I'll put knight f3, and that's move 4. So that's good enough. Basically, it's a big enough advantage where, at the very least, if you play a good game, you won't lose the game. It'll at least be a draw. But if anyone's going for the win, it's white. So that means you just need to work on the rest of your skills as a chess player. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's get one more. Got another e5. We'll do knight f3 again. We already got a Petrov, but hopefully it'll do something different this time. We take knight takes e5. We're just copying what we did. It took back. Knight takes e4. We know queen e2 is the move. Let's see if it does something different. Last time it did c6. Now it does h5. So it's still something different, and it's a big mistake. Alright, so 1, e4. You could just probably copy and paste, but I'm just going to actually type it because, I don't know. Sometimes I'm in a typing mood, and sometimes I'm in a copy and paste mood. Let's see, we got knight takes e5, knight takes e4, for queen e2, and then he played h5, which is a big blunder, so I'm going to give it a double question mark. And then move 5. It actually says... See, this is interesting because you could just take the knight, but the best move is actually d3. I would like to go further into the game, but it's all I'm looking for out of this. So I'm not going to. Let me just save this. E4. So, I mean, you want to do that with white? You could do that with starting with d4 instead. Or what I would do is, if, like, you can, once you do this for a while, you can choose, like, what I would do, if you don't know how to choose what moves to start with, just go by the top 5 moves here to start with, and do any of these top 5 moves. Like we did e4, you can do d4, or do knight f3, or it says e3, or knight c3. Basically, any move really that is above -1, like, and I think that's almost every move. On the first move, that's just about every move, just to give you a hint. Like if I played h4, that looks like a kind of terrible move. Let's see what the... See, that's a -47. So it's still playable. Even though it's not nearly one of the best moves, it's still playable. So let your creativity, let your feelings run wild on the first move anyways. And just to let you know, since we have assisted move on, you can take back the move. So if you want to try moves that aren't the top 5, just try it, see what it says it is. Like b5 is -30. Let's say you want to try another random move. That looks like a bad move. See, now it's -1.62. That's too much. Oh, now it's -33. But it was -1.62. Okay, what I would do is, if you're going to do random moves, you're playing against a low-level bot. What I would do is I would scroll all the way down. I would go to engine, and I would scroll it over to the highest level, and then push play. And then if you want to try random things, then at least the opponent will play good moves against you. And then you'll know if your opening can work when your player plays good moves. Also, make sure you do this for black. I have it set to play as white, but you can change. You want to change it. You want to do this for the black pieces as well. And maybe I'll do another video just doing on the black videos as well. Maybe I'll do a few of these just to help you guys get started. And you can rewatch this video and pause it when I play the moves, and then write them down yourself. So that's it for now. There are other ways. There are other ways to find opening moves to learn, and I'll probably do some more videos on that. But for now, this is a great way to get started. And yeah, you can make flashcards with these, or just, I don't know, do whatever you want with them. There are a lot of openings, so you should only study openings about 30% of all the studying you do. because at the end of the day, once you're out of the opening, you're stuck on your own. So you really need to practice. You should do puzzles to help build your instincts. But yeah, we'll get into more of that, I'm sure. Um, well, that's it for now, and I hope you enjoyed. And tell your friends, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And have a good one.